Welcome to Renaissance. We're just going to call it the art video. All right. And what we're going to talk about is the change of style in the arts. Right. So you get realism and you get emotion, another ism. You get classicism, Greek and Rome Renaissance. You get an emphasis on individual and an interaction between people. So again, we're going back to all our isms, right? Individualism here. And I guess the geometric arrangements you could consider scientific naturalism. All right? And the use of perspective. Perspective, which we'll talk more about, and then the use of light and shadow. I was going to teach you all the vocabulary words about the shadow, but just know they use light and shadow to emphasize realism, humanism, classicism. All right? Characteristics of Renaissance art. Realistic, classical, individual. Art is philosophy, using symbols, structures to determine a realistic portrayal of people and places. All right. So again, this is video. We're just going to call it Renaissance art video. Not only we're going to see paintings, we're going to see writing. Dante wrote the Divine Comedy. We already talked about Petrarch. Notice this is Sonnet 28 to Laura. Erasmus, we're going to talk about later on. His famous writing is in praise of folly. You've got Machiavelli, who wrote The Prince, and really his idea was it better to be loved or feared? And that's something we'll talk about a little bit in class. Chaucer, again, an English writer. So part number one of this video is the idea that it's not only paintings and sculpture, it's also going to move to written word and literature. In fine art, it's, again, realism, classes, individual. We already talked about that. You got Michelangelo. Notice how realistic it is. Michelangelo was one of the most famous Renaissance painters. He was a sculptor, architect, and poet. His sculptures and paintings showed realism. Realism, 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 Michelangelo, realism. All right? His greatest work is the Sistine Chapel. Again, he got paid by the church to do it, so you get that little bit of overlap, but it's going to be very realistic, it's going to be detailed, it's going to be powerful, it's going to be beautiful. Amazing. You get Da Vinci, Mona Lisa, the Vitruvian Man, the Last Supper, which we've already talked about, true Renaissance man, known as a sculptor, known as an artist, scientist, inventor, studied the human anatomy. All 12 apostles have different expression. And if you actually look, there's even perspective. If you notice here, I didn't draw that right. There's perspective even in this painting. Look at the feet. Amazing, right? Mona Lisa, again, known for its depth and its emotion. He had many inventions. Here he's studying the human anatomy. Human anatomy. Donatello, sculptor, sculptor, sculptor. He revived, brought back the classic Greco-Roman style. David, freestanding sculpture. Again, we've talked a little bit about Raphael. School of Athens. Again, notice the perspective. And what's neat about this is everybody in here is representative of a Greek or a Roman. That's an even better version of it. Notice the use of perspective. The vanishing point's basically right there. Plato, Aristotle, you got Euclid, you got Raphael, you got Michelangelo, you got Pythagoras. Here's Raphael's betrothal of the Virgin, and notice again the use of perspective, the vanishing point. All right? Brunelleschi is our architect, studied the Roman Pantheon. He then used these dome-inspired to build these modern building designs. Do you notice a pattern? Boticelli, the birth of Venus. Then, like the rest of the Renaissance, the movement is going to move north. Outside of Italy, mainly France, Netherlands, and Germany. Who do we need to know? Dürer, Van Eyck, and Bruegel. Van Eyck is amazing. Look at this painting, right? The Bride of Arnolfini. This is the mirror that's here. That's the dog that's there. Amazing, amazing. Here you see Bruegel. I always butcher that. All right, so that's our video on Renaissance art.